Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got something that I haven't done before in a video. Running a C-Class open race here for week 11.
Pit lane speed limit
We
is
are at
45
Charlotte Motor
miles per hour.
Speedway. I know I did one of these in the
Okay, Jake,
P-Fix.
we've got 2 laps to set a decent
We're doing
time.
this in C-Open. Want to start running open trucks a little bit more and try to see where I compare both driving wise and setup wise to some people. Trying some stuff out, trying to learn these. Maybe think about running Road to Pro next year when it comes back. So figured this was a good time to do it, and kind of already got a little bit of the feel of Charlotte and driving in the B-Class Fixed Series race. So see what we can do. Weaker field, but I think there's a lot of quick guys here that are going to absolutely murder me. So not feeling great about this. I think it's probably going to be a combination of both setup and driving. Probably a lot on driving. I'm just not quite good at driving these things as much on the edge to keep the momentum up. But we'll see what we can do. First lap, we're just going to try to get a time, even though it's not going to be very quick because there's a lot of drivers in the 29s before I went out. And track position's going to be key here. At least sitting where I'm supposed to qualify. I'm car number 9. I think there's 26 in total here. Second lap's definitely going to be quicker. We'll see if we can actually pick up somewhere. Oh, I overdrive 3 really bad. Pedals went away for some reason. Not really sure why. That was fun. So we're going to sit on that first lap.
52.54.
Have a clutch, which is great. Yeah. No idea why that just happened. That's going to be fun. So, joys of having hardware issues in the middle of a race. Yeah. Quickly tried to figure that out.
Okay, Jake.
Was on pace to go a little bit faster.
Session, P9.
Yeah, no idea what just happened there. I was nowhere near the front, so we'll get the setup switched. I'm gonna get over the race trim setup and try to see if I can get pedals fixed. I may make one adjustment that seems to always cause an issue. I don't know what happened there. We'll get this solidified. Gonna do something. See if we can get pedals back. Wish I could have kept on that because that would have been a much better lap. It would have moved us up a few spots. So we're going to try that and hope that that is going to be good enough. Get paints refreshed here as well. And we'll get in the truck and see what we can do. 80 laps. I believe it's 3 sets of tires in the pits. And then the one on the truck. We'll see. Looks like we got that done. Yeah, 9th out of 26, only 18 turn time, so right around half the field. Pull up session best lap, so that'll be more indicative. Fuel, I think it's only gonna be about 45 laps or so.
The air temp is 67 Fahrenheit.
So we'll get fired up here just a minute and get rolling. Yeah, I think I don't even remember how many weeks ago it was. I think I tried to run these. It was like close to the beginning of the season, and it did not go very well. So thought this would be a good time to do it again.
Catch up to
Off and rolling. Yeah, 3 sets of tires in the pits. Fuel probably. Oh, like I said, I think it's gonna be about 45 laps or so. So realistically, if we get something around 33 to 35, probably come in and pit then and try to make that our last. If we go green the rest of the way, make that the last stop. Everybody's going to need at least one stop for sure. Nobody that's able to make it without a stop, and even if you do, you're probably going to be falling off so bad that it's not going to be worth it. Unless we were to go cautions like every 3 laps, which if that were the case, I'd cry. I would cry. That would not be a fun fun event. So this is likely going to be my last oval race for week 11, and then we'll kick things off for the final race or the final week of all the scheduled stuff. Probably not going to be doing very much during week 13. Probably just some open NASCAR series. So see what we can do, but we're gonna get ready to go here. Just gonna try to take it easy. The setup is I have it set up pretty loose to start. Set the tire wear is not too bad. Probably momentarily be pulling up the digital dash just to keep an eye on the water temps since I have such a limited view. Not a great start. You can see the 3 gets on by. We're just gonna hope that the pedals hang on. 11's looking pretty aggressive behind. I understand the need for track position. I kind of overdrove 3, but then pushed it, get a little loose there in the middle of 3 and 4. That's the setup. 11 goes behind. I don't know if he checked up and lost it for me or what, but I mean, I know that wasn't necessarily me.
Pace car is out. Pits are closed. Pace car's out. Line up single file behind A.
Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. I'd feel bad if, you know, my loose in the middle of 3 and 4 caused him to check up and have an issue, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's kind of my fault, but not necessarily, so try to see if we can keep this as clean as possible and gain a lot out of this today from a safety rating standpoint. More laps. Hopefully drop the corners per incident. So we dropped a couple spots off of that start. Except the 3 got by on the outside off the initial start. But long race. Still running close to where I'm supposed to, so no big deal. Realistically, if I can finish top 10, I'll be happy with that, even though that's not where I'm supposed to finish. I mean, it's not far off, but gonna be fine with just using this as a big experiment to learn, you know, what I need to be doing and
We're under caution.
what adjustments I can make from a driving standpoint. Maybe a little bit, you know, in setup. Didn't really do a ton of long run testing in this, but just see what we can do. Thankfully, this should be quick caution as we're on the 2 to go already. So get some fuel saved. You can see that 63 laps is A, still not enough to make it all the way, and B, that's going to fall quite a bit. So I know that fuel calculator is not the most accurate. It's gotten better since iRacing made the 1 update, but compared to like a Race Labs or something else, it's not quite as accurate. So, but yep, this is hopefully not a sign of how the race is going to be, but I'll try to keep it a little bit more under control. I think it might have been a combination of where I lifted, pushing up the track, getting back on the throttle, but then, you know, kind of being at a weird angle with thinking the 11 was going to dive underneath, but then he didn't.
We're under caution.
See if he's... Looks like he's not off the lead lap, so... Or if he just spun and saved it, we can check the replay if there's time afterwards. Right now, like I said, I'll pull the digital dash as I need it just to keep an eye on the water temp. In case I don't think the tape should be too high, but if we happen to be running too much in the pack, I can periodically check it. Although weather's cooler than what I tested in, and I don't think I'll necessarily be right behind people. I think I can probably be slow enough to find some clean air if we get spread out as the race goes. Just clutching it to try to save as much fuel as possible, because even though we all know I'm going to have to make a pit stop, the less fuel I have to take, the faster it can be. Up to the point of, you know, it can only go so fast with the tires, but certainly for, without a doubt, we're going to be taking tires as well if they fall off quite a bit. So, get a restart on the inside again. Try to keep it as clean as I can. Keep it a little bit looser, or a little bit more in control. I don't know if we'll see anybody else driving quite as aggressive, or everybody's going to be willing to just kind of start logging laps now. Get ready. We'll get ourselves in the second gear. See if we can get a little better restart off this time. Stay a bit closer to the 3. I think it might be the gearing that I have. I don't know. I'm just not timing it well.
Right that, A12. Still there.
Just gonna ease it in, try to clear the 4. I think the 4 realizes it's smarter to stay behind me, get to the bottom and take that gap. Let's back it off a little bit earlier, take it a little bit smoother. See, the 4 kind of did the same thing, and he gets a little bit of a better run out of 4. But we at least got 1 lap under green this time. Baby steps, right? A good run on the 3. I'm probably not going to be making too many aggressive moves to start. You see the 4 diving. It looked like he was going to dive underneath off of 2. Got a big run out of 2. Just going to kind of take it easy and feel everybody out. Driving the setup a bit more conservative than I could. The 4's looking like he wants to go.
Fastest lap for Hunt, 30.12. The leader has just done a 30.26. You've just done a 30.66.
Just kind of riding behind the 3 right now, saving tires, logging laps, just feeling everything out. The setup should feel a lot more comfortable in a few laps. 4 is going to look to the inside going into 3, so just stay low and let him go. Got a big gap back to the 13 behind the 4, so no real reason to fight him too much. Wasn't really trying to battle back past him there on the outside. I was just really kind of running my line. Not sure if I want to get by the 3. The 3 seems a bit slow. Maybe we'll try to get by him here in the 3. Might be doing a better job tire saving. Just work by his inside. Try to get back to the 21 and just stay with the pack. I think the 3 is going to look to do the same thing going into turn 1. Kind of overdrive turn 1 there a little bit. Setup's feeling just slightly loose, but like I said, I kind of set it up that way so that if we went a long run, it would be a little bit more neutral as the run went on, not quite so tight. Just gotta quit overshooting the corners. It's gonna hurt the right front as well as hurt the momentum. You can see the 4's definitely looking to go, so we'll let him go here on the inside. No reason to battle him and potentially get any kind of contact or anything happening. Lift early just to let him go into 3 and fall in behind him. A little loose there in 3, trying to cut down. Able to save it. 10 down, 70 to go. But he seems to be kind of sorting out only 1-2 wide battle up front. And that even looks like that might be sorting out, so a little bit of 2 wide in the back, but everybody's kind of spreading out. We're driving 3 again, and we've got a spin up ahead, and there's the caution. So that'll be a couple spots at least.
Pits are closed.
Get the 21 back by, looks like he's got some damage. So, second caution of the race. At least able to see that one happening and avoid it.
We gotta stop being aggressive. It's only lap 12.
I had enough of a gap behind as well that didn't have to worry about anybody driving into us.
Sorry about that, 12. I couldn't stop it from spinning.
Still not, in my opinion, time to pit. I think it's too early. Obviously, we don't have damage, so I don't think there's reason to come in. But we'll see what everybody else does. Looks like everybody is gonna come to pit. Okay.
The leader, Hunt, is pitting.
So we'll do the same thing.
Pit lane speed
Just do
limit
4
is
tires and full of
45
fuel.
miles per hour.
It's not gonna get us to the end, but
90 feet.
We have the set up. Well, I mean, it's a little bit early to use the first set, but if we can get a long run, it'll be fine.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Don't want to be left out on
Box now.
older tires in case it goes green the rest of the way. Not really a ton to check with the tire order because it was really only like a 6-lap run. Just falling behind the 4. We'll see where we sort out once we cross the line. Tires were 98, 97, so not terrible, a little bit loose, but kind of saw that when we had the bit of the slide in the middle of 3 and 4 on that opening lap, and then a little bit of loose off of 4 the other lap. So right front temps are just a little bit hotter, not terrible, so we'll take it. Hopefully we can get a longer run.
Yellow. Pits are open.
Got a few more laps. I think we got, like I said, like 6 or 7. So hopefully we can get a few more after this. Some trucks up front coming back in, probably to fix damage. We're realizing that
is pitting.
if we all hit it and they stayed out, they probably should. Still, like I said, not quite there to being able to go
Coming in this lap.
the full distance on this tank of fuel. Got 1 to go. Be lining up in 8th. Restart. So I'm gonna be a little bit careful on the outside. Do what we can. Not really looking to pick up a ton of spots. I know the 4's either much faster or a bit more aggressive off the start, which is fine. So I'm just gonna be looking to get back into a zone, kind of work through the first few laps, build some pressures and temps, get the truck to transition out of the loose state to a little bit more of a slightly looser neutral state. Everybody checking out for some reason. And just kind of see how everybody is. Got 3 directly behind us, 13's going to be behind the 4, so a little bit of people we've already run around. But long way to go. We're still going to have 66 laps to go once we get the green. So plenty of race left to go. See if I can make any improvement on this restart.
Green, let's go.
Kind of got a little bit of a restart, but 5 didn't really go as well as I was trying to. I was trying to watch the 6 to see when he went. 3 and the 4 were going to run side by side. Inside line didn't get going quite as much, but you can see the 4 get the run off the corner. I think he might have his truck a little bit tighter to start, which allows him to get a little better of a drive. So we're just going to stay high and let him go. He just gets off the corners a lot better on the start. Try to get him by here in the 1, falling in front of the 13. Just start riding. Let's see what we can do. Get a run on the 5. Try to just take it, going behind the 4. Really feel like the 4s could potentially be pushing hard. Like I said, maybe a bit tighter off the start than a lot of these guys, so he's going to be faster up front, but if we go longer, he may fall off, although might have already run a bunch of these and know that they're caution filled. I have not, and I haven't really paid attention to what they're like in terms of number of cautions. But just going to sit here in 7th. Good spot to be. Logging laps. Looking for the 26 who's up high against the wall. Off the corner, we got a slow truck coming up as well on the inside. 13 seems to be holding the rest of the field up. The 11's actually, I think the 11's back there as well. So keep an eye out for him. Hopefully he doesn't hold any ill will against me. To see lap trucks sitting on the inside. We're just riding behind him. It's the 15. So just go by on the outside going into 3. Able to clear him without disrupting the entry too much. A little bit of a wiggle there in the middle of 3 and 4, but not anything too bad. 5's starting to come back up. He's firing off well now. So if he gets going that quick, I'll probably just let him by. You can see how much of a run he's getting into 1. I think he might be probably lifting just a little bit earlier, getting back on the gas a little more, but he's going to get the run down too. We'll just let him go because there's a big gap back to the 13. 13's actually stuck by the 15, so really not trying to race the 5 on the outside, just holding my line out there for him. We'll do the same thing that we did with the 4, just lift early, fall in behind him, let him go. No reason to fight when we've got such a big gap back to the 13. Yeah, the 11's worked his way back up. He's in 9th now. No, 10th, excuse me. Falling behind the 5 here. See if the pack pulls away or if we're able to hang with them. Clicking off laps though, we'll see if we can make this green flag run any longer than the last one. Make it our longest of the race so far. Looks like the 11 and the 13 are running side by side, so the 11's got some short run, early run pace so far. Get just a little loose there out of turn 4, but I think it's a good balance that, like I said, hopefully we'll transition to a slightly loose later on and then a little more of a neutral as the run goes on. 26 is falling back a little bit. 4 is able to work by him. 5 looks like he's starting to catch him. Front 4 separated just a little bit, but it's not anything too bad. 5 seems to be maybe a little bit tighter than I am because he pushes out of the corners a little bit wider. Just follow him and work by the 26. Looks like he might have gotten a bit of a slide there out of 2. Still pulling away from the 11. 11's still behind the 15, so don't worry too much. Blink up ahead of the 4. Okay with the 15 continuing to hold the rest of the field up. It gives me a really nice cushion right now. And just log laps, follow everybody up here, and not have to worry about too much. Looks like the 11's finally working his way underneath the 15 to get on by. So we'll see how quickly he catches up to us. You can see lap times have fallen off about a half a second or so from where I turned my fastest lap this run. 2.3 back to the 11. We'll keep an eye on that gap as well. 5 hasn't been able to quite clear the 26. 26 is falling back just a hair from the 4, but not by much. 13 is going to be the next one to work on the 15 back there. A little bit of a better run on the 5 this time out of 4, but not going to be looking to make any passes. Just sit behind him. Actually gained about 2/10 on the 11. So gap should still be able to stabilize at least. Feel like we're closing up on the 26, just slowly. The leader's starting to break out. The rest of everybody's kind of tightened back up here in this front pack. 4 catches the apron just a hair, shoots him up, slows down his momentum. 26 is actually able to work by him on the outside. 26 is definitely committed to that high line. See if the 5 is going to try to work by the 4. 4 goes to the top. 5's working to the inside of the 4. They're going to go side by side off of 2. Just going to follow and watch these two. 11 closes back up. We'll see if that gap holds at the line. Just going to work to the inside. 4 will probably get the run and clear him off of 4. Yep. Yeah, both the 11 and the 13 closed up a little bit that lap.
Your lap time was at 30.
I think we slowed down quite a bit. You can see only, we go from half a second, 6/10 off the fastest to over a second off. It's kind of a little bit of the whole 4 clipping the apron slip up. Slowed down that lap. 5's got a little bit of blinking now. Tap the brakes to check out. That's going to kill my momentum with them, but didn't want to get back into the 5. I think we're going to look to try to get by the 4 if we get back to them. It's going to cost me a lot of time to them, but did not want to shoot up the track. Did not want to get into the 5. 26 is just committed to running that I line. I thought, a little bit of it was he's trying to get the 4 to the inside, but he's still staying up there. I think they're yelling about the 15 back there. Oh, maybe the 13. Turn the chat down. Sorry about the language. If you did happen to hear it, I don't really want to hear it.
Your lap time was 31.17.
5 worked by the 4 with relative ease. We're going to see if we can do the same thing once we get back to him. 11's working his way back to us. 13 and the 3 are working side by side. Got into the corner a little bit better on the 4, and I get a little loose there in the middle of 3 and 4. It's going to give the 4 the momentum off the corner. He's got to lift a little bit earlier, keep it a little bit smoother. Tires are starting to fall off. Definitely going to be pitting for tires if we get a caution at any point. And could be close to being able to go the rest of the way without a stop if it were to go green.
Coming up on the inside. Inside clear.
See if we get underneath the 4 without getting too loose. Not quite able to do it that time through 4. I don't think he's just going to let us by.
That lap was at 31.33.
Do the same thing again. Tap the brakes, doesn't cost me quite as much. Just gonna try to figure out how to get around the 4, where it's gonna be. My best move might be to set up a little bit of a later entry and try to get underneath, but it's not pushing up quite as high off the corners as he was.
Your lap time was
At least we're getting a good green flag run in here, getting a little bit closer to the halfway point. See if we get the run here off of 2 to the inside.
On your right. He's still there.
Try to set that up as best as I can. It's going to be tougher to make the pass because he's going to have the momentum off of the corner.
They're outside.
Kind of pushed up a little more than I wanted to, but I think he realized where we were at, just kind of let us go. He gave us a little bit of respect there. We're just going to set our sights on trying to run a smooth line, see if we can start working away from him, get back to the 5. Front 4 have just absolutely pulled away from, or the front 5 have pulled away from us. 26 has done a really good job to close back up to the 16. You see the leader's gone, then you got a pack of 4, and then the 3 of us. 3's actually been able to work by the 11. He's working his way up. There's a group of 4 trying to catch us. Now that they all cleared the 15.
that lap time was 31.35.
Truck's definitely getting a little loose off of 2 and 4. Nowhere near as bad as what the B fixed was, but same idea. Just got to keep working the throttle off. Catching up to the 5. So we can take it easy there. He goes way high through the front stretch. See if we can get to the inside and just get by him here through 1.
Still there. Left side
I
line
think
is
he
clear.
does the same thing as the 4, just recognizes pace different. Better to lose 1 spot, not drop even further than try to fight and potentially lose 2 or 3. It's been good, clean, respectful racing up here so far. Really happy with that. I know sometimes I had issues before in the B or the C fixed where Guys were just crazy aggressive the entire time and didn't really care. We got 1.8 to the 26. We'll see if we can start closing up on them.
Okay, Jake, that's good consistency. Keep it up.
Just working the truck off the corners. I know I'm not arcing the corners quite as much as everybody else is. Probably need to be lifted a little bit more as I continue to push up 3 and 4. You can see how much the 3 is closed up. It's down to 1.4 now. I think that one I lost a little bit of time to the 26. But we're pulling away from the 4 and 5. Oh, I'm an idiot, just driving into the wall like a dum-dum. Hopefully it didn't hurt the truck too bad. Make sure to roll out of throttle a little more into 3 and 4. .0 to the 26. See if I can start stabilizing that over the next couple of laps. It's not going to help when I overshoot 1 and 2 like that. 3's also closing up on us. We're going to be halfway down this time by. Yeah, lost another 10th to the 26 that time.
Okay, Jake, we're halfway home. You estimate 21 laps of fuel left.
We'll have to see when people start thinking about pitting. I don't know if they're going to want to try to stretch it as long as possible and just be as short of a run as possible at the back end if we go green the rest of the way, or if people are going to start thinking about short pitting. No, I'm definitely wearing out the right sides, but I don't think it's too bad in terms of the balance. It still feels actually somewhat loose off the corners, so could use a little bit more grip on entry, but I think that's more of a driving thing than it is me. Ford had a big issue behind. He's just gone. I didn't even see what happened, but creates a massive gap from the 5 to the 11, so puts us in a really good spot here to just ride in 6th. And we're losing just a little bit of time to the 26, the group up ahead, but not a big deal.
P6.
Or looks like he might have had a spin or something because he's on pit road. I don't think that was a scheduled green flag stop. I think that was he had a problem. Trying to do a little bit of a better job getting into the corner, keeping it down. Still a little bit too high, but just don't quite have the pace. See, maybe making an argument to make it a little bit tighter. Maybe look at an adjustment. See what we can do. Look at possibly a little bit of left rear offset. Try to tighten it up just a hair. Some couple rounds there. Just give me a little bit more. Looks like the 5's starting to close back up. The gap was at 1 second. Now it's down to 0.8. 26 actually worked by the 16 now, so not expect him to be able to make that high line work that long, but he's doing a great job up there. Great run as well for, you know, where iRacing has him running it, where he actually is. That's a great job, and I don't think he's done it by wrecking people. He's been clean the whole time, so if that holds, that's awesome to him. It may go a little bit more if I decide to run, you know, the tank dry and then come in for a short run. May add another round into the left rear to tighten it up. Like I said, this is kind of one of my first shots at trying to set up and everything, so it's all an experiment to see where I stack up. And obviously, if I was in an even tougher field, I'd probably be much further back. So just a good learning start. I get into just a logging lapse point. I can see the group up ahead, but not quite close enough to do anything, and got that nice gap back to the 5 behind. Overshoot 3 there. It's gonna push me wide. I a little too much wheel in the center of the corner, that gets me loose off. It's gonna kill the momentum. 5's gonna close up.
The lap time was at 31.
I think you're starting to see some people with pit stops. I think as soon as either everybody behind goes or the group up in front starts to break up and go, that's probably when I'm going to start looking, because we're good to make it on fuel the rest of the way at any point. Just making sure I get out of the throttle a little bit better now.
Okay, Jake. There's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
It's the 21. Not going to have any issues with him rejoining right by us, although once they do, they'll be quite a bit faster. You can see we're almost 2 seconds off a lap right now. 12's a lap down. Knowing my luck, whenever I decide to pit, I'm probably going to get trapped by our caution or something. But that's just kind of, that'll be the luck of the draw if it happens. I expect the 12 to start pulling away. I think he just pitted for tires. I don't think he had any damage, so unless he was involved in the wreck. See when we get closer. Looks like he's got some damage, so. Couple trucks up in front come in, so may look at coming in this next time by. Don't want to stay out too much longer and lose to the fresh tires.
Left side line's clear.
Yeah, 12 had damage, so he was off the pace that way. Try to get on pit road as cleanly as possible.
105.
Whoa, almost got hit by the 12.
Watch your
Down
speed.
under
Locked
speed,
in.
we should be
Be
good.
left. 190.
Not as good of a pit entry as I wanted, but not bad. I'm gonna stick with the adjustment I made for the left rear, since we're gonna be running a almost 30 lap run.
Box in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Hopefully we did not get a speeding on pit road trying to get by the 2 there. Or the 9, excuse me. Take a look at the tires. Coming off, everybody's starting to come in now.
Lewis is now leading.
See if we
Take
get.
care, there's a car approaching.
Looks like we're good from the speeding side, so just gotta get off on. Get back up to speed on the track, watch with the cold tires, and see where we sort out in the next couple laps as the green flag stop cycle through. It's kind of fun to be able to do a green flag stop. I can't remember the last time I actually did one in a official race, to be honest. A little bit of hairy moments with that stop, not anything too bad. As we get sorted out, we'll take a look at the tires on the backstretch. Said it's going to take a couple laps to sort out the positions to see where we end up falling off. So I think there's a couple trucks up ahead that probably have not pitted yet. Yeah, truck's definitely a lot tighter is what I want to do. 73, 72. Not bad, that was that loose condition I was feeling. Probably drove it a bit too hard, but overall not bad. See some more trucks coming in for their green flag stops. I get a good run on the 14, he stays high, thank you to him.
Right side.
That's the difference in fresh tires versus older tires. Really hope we can just go green the rest of the way. See, the 11th still hasn't pitted yet. See how long he wants to stay out. Looks like he's coming in now. Alright. I don't know if we're back on the lead lap yet, but see, working our way around 12 here shortly again.
That was at 30, 5-0.
I go to the outside to get around him off of 2.
Clear on the inside.
Maybe clear him, no problem. Next couple laps, we'll take a look and see if we're back on the lead lap. I know the 2 was on pit road with us. I think the 16 was as well. Back into 10th right now. I somehow got a feeling that we could still pick up a couple spots once they cycle through it. Yeah, you can see the 2's up ahead, the 5 is up ahead. He hasn't pitted yet, so yeah, we should. I don't know if we're gonna cycle back to 6, but it should cycle up a couple more spots. Looks like the 5's gonna be coming in this time. I get loose, get the wall like an idiot, and now the truck's gonna be killed. You see the right front damage? That was not what I needed to do. Got a bit loose there. 13's still out. So once we get by the 13, that should put us back on the lead lap. Looks like he's coming in this time. I cannot believe I did that. Lucky enough to not get a 0x, but stupid move. Just pushed it a little too wide, trying to avoid the 5 coming in. I thought I was catching a little bit quicker, and it's going to cost me a lot of speed.
Last lap time was 51.15.
I think we should end up being ahead of 8th, but the 2 will have a little bit of fresher tires, a little bit more of an advantage. Question's going to be, how bad is the damage going to affect me, and is it going to be worth coming in if we get a caution to go all the way back in the field and have to make my way back up through? We'll see. Looks like we lost 1 spot once it all cycles through. So we passed the leader on pit road, so, or what was the leader. It's going to be back, that was the 13, so that'll keep us just 1 spot loss, which partially due to the pit entry, but again, I think that people pitting a little bit sooner was going to help with that. 13's still on pit road for some reason, not sure what's going on there, so if we can stay 7th, I'll be happy with that. We got almost 6 seconds back to the 10 behind. Keep an eye on that gap to see how much he's closing in. I'm going to have 20 to go next time by. See if I can even catch the 16. I doubt I can. .0 back to the 3 and 4.3 to the 16. So keep an eye on what that does. Just 20 to go. Truck would have felt a lot better and had a lot more pace with that adjustment that I made for this run if I wouldn't have, you know, torched the right side like that. Lessons learned. It's still just a little loose, which I think should make it comfortable by the end, but 4.5 and 5.9, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get to 6th without an issue, but should hopefully be able to hold on to 7th if we go the rest of the way. 4 has an issue, he's falling back. See, he's back to 5th place already. Three's not really catching us, and we pick up a little bit on the 4, but he's falling off. We lost. We stayed about even with the 16, so 7th place seems like we're probably going to finish, unless we can somehow catch the 4 and get by him. But hey, I'll take 7th right now, even in a weaker field. Truck's right on that comfortable edge of loose for me. 3 catches a little bit that time. We lose a bit to the 16, so maybe 6th place if we get to the 4. But if I can keep this going and don't fall off too bad, I don't think there's enough time for the 3 to get to me. And I haven't seen the well, the 13 obviously was still on pit road, so it's been a fun race now that we got into this long green flag run. Got in a little hot there into 3, gets the truck a little loose, but able to catch it enough and flip the throttle. All times are fairly consistent. 3 catches up quite a bit that time. He chopped off about half a second. Which if he does that every time, he's definitely going to get to me. The 10's going to be following him as well. And there's a big gap back to the 18, so I think a top 10 should still happen. Whether or not we lose any spots from here, we'll have to see. Would expect the 3 to be a bit faster. I think he pitted just a little bit later. 5.1 that time. Yeah, he's catching pretty quick. We're catching the 4 fairly quick as well, and the 16 still pulling away, so that's probably a bit of difference in the tires out behind, but a lot in the damage. I think the damage has hurt me. I hook it way bad off of 2. Let's save it. We'll be fine. I think if we can get by the 4, then you're probably looking at an 8th place finish, potentially. Last thing I need right now, though, is a caution. I need this to stay green, and that'll keep me as close to the front as possible. This 3's definitely closing the gap down pretty quick, and we've only got 14 laps to go. A little loose there in the center, but just need to manage it a little bit better. 3's pulling away from the 10 a little bit, and we're still maintaining the gap to the 18. Just waiting to pick the throttle back up a little bit. I don't know what happened to the 4. Guess we'll see if he's got any damage, but obviously I've caught a lot of damage on the right front as well. Just trying to manage. Wait just a little bit longer that time out at 2 to pick up the throttle, which keeps me going a little bit straighter, not sliding quite as much. Just see where we can get by the 4. Looks like he's got a little rear end damage, so try to work underneath him here on the front stretch. Able to clear him. Fortunately, he's so far off the pace that it's not like he's going to put a fight up to the 3 when the 3 gets to him. The 3 is closing in fast. Gap's all the way down to 3.6. And we're going to have 11 to go. I think I might be good to only give up a spot to the 3, but we'll have to see how it shakes out. But for the moment, back up to 6th. Don't think that's where we're going to stay, but 7th is still ahead of where I qualified, where I'm supposed to finish, and within the top 10, so let's still check off every goal I wanted to have. A little bit high there out of 2, but not anything bad. Long green flag runs can really stretch things out, but like I said, it was the thing I needed to be able to stay up, because if we had a caution and grouped everybody back up, it would not be good for me at all. Be getting eaten alive even if I could come in and take tires. Let loose there, center 1 and 2, get back on the throttle too early again. You can see a good battle up front. Really good battle up front. They got a pack going, just a bit of difference in pit entry and exit, and me smacking the wall keeps me from it. Gap's down to 2.6 now to the 3. Just 9 to go. Basically need to keep him from gaining more than, if he gains like 3/10 a lap, then he can get by us. Because that kind of closure rate, he's going to be rocketing by me. Which it appears that he's gaining like closer to like 4 to 5/10 a lap, so not going to end well. That's okay. I think the 5 really hasn't been able to gain as much, so really seems like it'll only be 126 had an issue. He's falling back, so although I getting loose in the middle of 1 and 2 again like an idiot. Just gotta quit picking up the throttle so much. I saw the 26 up ahead and thought, oh hey, I can catch him. Just need to be a little bit smoother, and maybe we can get to the 26 and end up finishing in 6th. We're gonna have just 7 to go though. You see the 3 already starting to close up on the 4. Let's work by the 17 low. Still catching the 26, so just gotta keep it smooth. It'll give me the best shot to try to get by the 26 and maybe finish 6th place. 3 is going to be rocking by us relatively soon. Should see him in probably 2 to 3 laps. Slowly catching up to the 26, although not as fast as we were, so I don't know if I'll be able to get by him. We've got just 6 to go, working lap 75. He had to have had some sort of problem happen. Three gets by the 4. We're gonna have 5 to go.
The gap behind is now 1.16.
3 can smell the blood. He's closing on us, knowing he can get a top 5 now.
That time was 31.27.
Trying to close in on the 26. Trying to keep it as smooth as I can to keep getting a run off the corner because we are closing up to the 26 probably fast enough that I should be able to get by him. I have just 4 to go this time.
Push now when we catch this guy.
A little bit loose, but good lap compared to the 26. 3's kind of stalled out a little bit, but I think he's still going to get me before the end of it. But maybe I can somehow hold them off and get a top 5 out of this. 26 has been committed that high side, so we're going to try to work underneath him. Don't know if I'm able to get it down the front stretch, but we'll try to get him through 1 and 2. Yeah, the gap to the 5 or 3 is kind of stabilized, so maybe we can actually hold on to a top 5 with just 3 to go. Just can't get loose off the corner now that I cleared the 26. 3's closing back in, but I'm hoping maybe he'll get stalled out just momentarily by the 26.
Ahead is Hunt.
Without any trouble up ahead, this is the furthest we're going to get. They're running side by side. They're over almost 7 seconds ahead, but just 2 to go.
2 to go. The lap time was
Really want to get the white flag
7.
so we can just end the race if we get a caution. Oh, I get loose off the corner. 26 actually took it down to the bottom for once in the corner. That was kind of odd. Oh, I'm all over the place. Just need to calm it down.
Ahead is now 7.0 seconds.
Be close to hanging on to a top 5. Not going to block the 3 if he gets there. We get the white flag. 3's going to be digging. Oh, traffic up ahead. 21's well ahead.
That lap was at 31.
Just need to run this as clean as I can. It's gaining a little bit down the backstretch, but don't know if it'll be enough to get by me. I really expected him to continue catching me as quick as he was. He just stalled out, but let's just hold it straight off of 4, and I'm going to get a top 5 out of this. Wow. Even with the damage, I was able to get a top 5. Whew, I'll take that. I will gladly take that.
Result, mate. Well done.
And somehow able to keep it 0x even with getting the wall.
Yeah, normally I'm pretty good on
Take that. That was a lot of fun. Once we got those first couple cautions out of the way, that cleaned up quite a bit and was a lot more fun. So I will take that. Got a lot to learn about the setups to be even faster and driving, obviously, but that was a lot of fun.
I hadn't even practiced reflex.
Get out.
This is my first and I think it's only my
Take a
first
look
race.
at the that first caution and see what happened to the 11.
Oh, I'll bet. I'm locked up on my full tires. That's not good.
Let's see.
But
Just gonna watch it from the start. You can see he was behind me. He's looking really aggressive. I think he might have just, I don't think he actually had any damage the way he's working back through the field, but we'll see. 'Cause he was looking inside of me. He was definitely, I think he was a lot tighter than I was off the start. And I was taking it kind of easy. You can see he was already looking to go to the bottom inside of me. And I kind of stayed high. And I get loose there. Oh, okay, so he checked up and it looks like the 4 got into him. I think is what ends up happening. Okay, so it was kind of my fault for getting loose and causing them to have to check up, but I don't think the 4 really ever did check up, honestly. The 11 did a great job to check up and avoid me, and I don't think the 4 ever did, and he just kind of drove into the back of him and sent him around. So I feel bad for causing that, but I mean, I didn't completely cause that in a way. So we'll take a look too. We'll see if we can work through what was the. Looks like he just had a self spin down, a little bit of contact behind. Just want to see if we can find what the other caution was up ahead. Let's see if we can find it here. 12 gets loose and gets tapped by the 16. Okay, that's what started that. And then the 14 somehow goes sliding, so we'll see what happened there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Watch this from a little bit further and see. So the 12's on the bottom. He taps the apron, gets a little loose, kind of wiggles in front of the 16. 16 just gets in the back of him, similar to the 4 and the 11. And then see what happens to the 14. Because the 14 somehow gets involved in this. So he starts seeing the wreck. And he just locks it and it gets the balance. I think he got a little bit too much brake there and it kind of sends the balance off the truck, sends him sliding, then he actually gets into the 12. So yeah, that's what caused that caution. And then we went green the rest of the way, so no sense in looking at my dumb wall hit. But yeah, let's jump out, take a look at the results. Hopefully they should be fairly positive. Should be able to gain a little bit of iRating. It was single split. Wow, so not a ton of people entering, but I guess I get it, given the time and the holiday weekend and everything. Managed to pick up a decent amount of safety rating, 0.34, so a little bit more. We should be back over 3.0. Able to get 57 back in iRating, so just under 28.25. Obviously, the lap times, see 29.983 is the fastest I see. Yeah, so it wasn't terribly far off of that with the 30.008, about a tenth. But I think part of that again was going to come down to the 4 was definitely the quick. I think it's going to come down to I was running a little bit looser, so I wasn't going to be as fast up front, but I feel like I was a little bit faster on the back end than some of the people around me. Obviously, the front 4 or 5 were always gone, but a little bit to work, but not as bad. Again, weaker field, so hard to take too much stock in it when you didn't have a ton of top people in there. That's really my big benchmark. So it's a work in progress. I'm gonna keep doing this over the next few weeks and maybe make it something I do the rest of the season, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Feel free to leave any comments, any suggestions, anything you liked or didn't like out of it. Your analysis of the 2 incidents we looked at there. And until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.